Looking for a place to test your golf game against fellow amateurs with similar skills and the same passion for the game? Whether you are a weekend warrior with a competitive fire or an elite amateur looking for opportunities to hone your tournament performance, the Amateur Players Tour has a home for you. Go to amateurplayerstour.com today to join the only AM tour on the continent created by the players and for the players.
Now on the tee from St. Louis, from Las Vegas, from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Jody, what's going on, man? How are you doing tonight?
Good, man. Was that making you nervous?
No, you're not making me nervous. I did notice you're rocking the Thunderbirds hat tonight. You switched that out since we started. So what's going on with that?
Well, we just got some new swag in for the school that I've been working with. For those of you don't know, one of my many jobs I'm doing is helping my kids school program, athletics program. So we got the DCA Thunderbirds going here, rocking the
Sure.
swag. Just came in the mail today. So we've been waiting with everybody else with supply chain issues. We've been waiting for about a month for the stuff to come in. So I was excited to get into the box.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, speaking of supply chain issues, trying to order membership hats for us.
Right.
Still on the phone with those guys today, and it's interesting when you hear the options that they're given. They're like, well, you could ship these air freight and it might save you anywhere between 2 and 15 weeks. And I'm like, 2 and 15 weeks? He goes, well, yeah, 2 weeks is the typical time it takes by boat, and it could be an additional 13 weeks to get it unloaded at port in California. You're just like, oh my goodness, man. But it's brutal. It's kind of interesting though, is watching that video close tonight of Pinehurst after being there for a week and just kind of noticing the different things. It's bringing back some good memories. I think we'll have to go back there at some point again. What do you think?
Well, it's funny that you should mention that. It's always nice and reaffirming, as tour owners and the two ultimately responsible for this circus. When one of the big resorts and basically golf of the country is so ecstatic about us and what we're doing and how organized we were and what a great team that we had behind us operating everything, that they come to us asking us to come back and schedule a return trip. So that always makes you feel good about what you're doing.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you're asking about things that make me feel good about what's going on and the direction we're going, and I mean, there's so many things to talk about from that week. The hundreds of people behind the 18th green, Luke's announcing groups to the green, seeing the look of pride on people's faces. Some hitting some really great shots on 18, which is a really tough, brutal pin. And I love how Cal's in the comments, ship everything to Florida. Man, if I want to do that so bad, you have no idea.
Absolutely.
So, but people coming up to 18th green and experiencing that, the camaraderie, watching people in the playoffs and how everybody handled it on Tuesday afternoon. It was just a good week all around. And it's going to be exciting.
I was there on 18, and we only had, in the entire field of everybody that finished on 18, we only had 3 balls go over the green onto the cart path there. The only 3 guys had to take a drop. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was certainly interesting. I know you got to watch a little bit more of it than I did. I was trying to figure out, I was with Chambers, we were trying to figure out how to pay out 160 gift cards at one time. And so have all that squared away. We paid out 40. I looked at the gift card load today. It was like 42,000 just in gift cards plus the 2 under challenge. All in all, it was, well over $50,000 in prizes. So it'd be good. Joe, I may be calling you.
I walked into the St. Andrews room while we had one of those breaks for the awards show right before we started passing out everything. And I don't know if you've seen the movie A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe, but that's what I saw you and Tom Chambers in the back of the room and all these numbers floating around over your head.
Oh, it was certainly fun, to say the least. But we got through it. We got it done. Exciting stuff tonight to talk about. We've got a national partner that's got a great product. One of these breaks, I'll have to go grab the demo so everybody can see it. And we'll do a little pre-order tonight, a little pre-order discount for those of you that want to get your hands on one tonight. We'll take those names down and got some rules changes coming, but go for it, Jody.
As we get into this, you've already had the conversation in your household about wanting one of these items. My wife's a runner. Most excited of basically any relationship we've built to date. She's like, can I get one of those and one of those and in this color? So nice. Yeah, I think our members are going to be very excited about this one.
Yeah, Holly, as long as it says Amateur Players Tour on it, it's good to go. So got to rep the brands.
Yeah, she may want one with the bird on it. I don't know.
Yeah, we can get her one with the bird on it. That's fine.
That's right.
But before that, we've still got some expansion to do, and so it's gonna be really fun. And so we'll get right to that. But let's take a quick message from our friends at 2 Under, and we'll introduce our newest chapter.
2 under. Quality fabrics, no roll waistband, Joey pouch, elevate and separate, no chafing. What more could you ask for?
So the question is, Jody, is how many people at Pinehurst made fun of you or me for giving them 2 under like the whole year, and then came up to us during the same tournament and told us how awesome the underwear was? Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I really wish I'd kept a running tally of the people from about probably April on through the rest of the season who have since come up to me and go, "Oh my gosh, after I got that first pair and tried it on, I immediately went home and ordered 10 more pair."
Right. Exactly. So it was good. I love how in the chat, Phil Vangersdale, and I was totally avoiding that question because I had no idea who the top 5 chapters were that brought people to Pinehurst. I had no clue, and it didn't have a good way to look it up. So thanks for answering that, Phil, all the way from vacation in California, tuning in tonight. So, but anyways, without further,
he's still awake. He's still awake because he's on the West Coast.
right. I was gonna say it's normally his bedtime, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to stay out of trouble. I don't want Phil texting me saying angry things. So, anyways, but without further ado, I'm really excited about this chapter. Another neighbor of mine coming near St. Louis, and 2 guys that I've had the pleasure to get to spend some time with. One of them I've got to know for a pretty long time now, even before the APT days, and the other getting to meet this year, and 2 great guys that are going to run a great tour. And so let's bring on Otis and Jamal and welcome the Central Missouri chapter of the APT. How are you boys doing tonight?
Doing well. Very excited.
What's going on, fellas?
So it's unfortunate, the weather in Missouri's taken a little bit of a turn for the worse when it comes to golf this week. So I was reading where they were talking about snow next week, but it doesn't mean we can't get excited about building a golf tour, right?
Exactly.
So
we're gonna be out there doing it.
Cool. Well, why don't you boys tell us a little bit about your territory? I know you guys, as players, have split time between myself and good old Jake from Kansas City. I was going to call him Jake from State Farm for a second, but why don't you guys tell us a little bit of kind of about your guys' area that you're going to cover and what makes you excited to be a part of the APT?
Sure.
Go ahead, Jamal.
So we're centrally located in Missouri, being in Columbia, and it's right in the middle of the state. And right now, that part of the state is pretty much underserved. If we want to go play in APT events, we're either sliding over to St. Louis or over to Kansas City. Otis and I both have played split time on both tours, which has been great. It's been a great experience. But we felt that there's a underserved group of great golfers that want to be a part of the APT. And so one day we were at a tournament, we got done, and I'm sure we were complaining about how bad we played. And we just started tossing around, well, hey, what if we had something in, Central Missouri? And then we got to thinking, we were like, you know what, that could work. And so we talked about it a little bit more. And then we finally said, you know what, let's get it done. Let's do it. Matt was on board. We did all the stuff. We've been talking to people in our areas, and there's a lot of excitement because there really isn't anything quite like it. Some of the stuff that we have, it's pretty much all or nothing. It's like either you get in and then you're competing against everybody. There's no breakdown as far as skill level or anything like that. So you get a lot of people that enter these and they get very frustrated. And so where the APT comes in is that we're going to fill that gap. We're going to allow everyone that opportunity. So every time they go put that peg in the ground, you got a chance to win. And that's very exciting for a lot of people in our area. And so we're looking to serve mid-Missouri as far north as we can go and as far south as we can go. So we'll be on the fringes of, the eastern side, not going into the St. Louis area, of course, and then the same thing over in Kansas City. So just kind of filling that space right in the middle of the state.
Yeah, hey, bring it, Otis. So I got to know. So who's your favorite, me or Jake? No, I'm just kidding. Well, Jake can't
Well, I have
be
to
on
say
here to.
Jake, because Jake will, Jake is not as nice as you, Matt. So you're a little more forgiving. I know you'll take it a little bit better than Jake will. So
Yeah, you're not wrong. So I'm sure he's trying to watch. I actually invited him on to introduce you guys, and he's stuck at a job site tonight. Couldn't be on, but no, I think it's going to be good. There's a lot of great golf. I know one of the big majors that we've released for 22 is right in your guys' backyard in Branson, at the house that Tiger built, July 4th weekend. Which, by the way, if you haven't joined yet and signed up for that event, you probably need to do so really quick. We've got like 53 spots left for that event. It's going to sell out quick. July 4th weekend, Paynes Valley, but some great golf in mid-Missouri. I know Jake and I have always tried to do events together. I know we were at Old Kinderhook this year in the Ozarks. I know Brian, one of our St. Louis guys, is begging to go back to Portosima. Went there in 2019 when we first started in St. Louis. So you guys have a lot of really good golf. I mean, for guys that want to travel in, the guys in St. Louis, the guys in Kansas City, the guys in Iowa, mid-Missouri is just full of really, really good golf. And so definitely worth the trip. So where are some of your favorite places you're looking to book?
ooh, well, I know we have Tanglewood is one, which is closer to the St. Louis area. We're also looking at Mules National and of course down into the Lake of the Ozarks. And we're planning on bringing on a couple of the private courses that are here locally in the Columbia area, if everything works out. Fingers crossed. And then we're going to make some contacts with some people down in Springfield, actually, even though it's a big further drive, but we think it's some courses down there that people be interested in actually playing on and bringing that. One of my fondest memories with the APT is just the announcement on the tee, which gives it that certified, you're pegging it up for something that matters type reality. It doesn't get real until you hear your name on that first tee and you get the little butterflies. And then that's what I think was missing right here in this area. So we'd be glad to bring that here.
Definitely. Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. I think one of the things that's fun about how we've built this point system with APT is you can get full points when you travel. And so for you guys that were driving back and forth between places, you could pick up points for Kansas City when you're in St. Louis. And our St. Louis guys, we'll be pushing them to go to mid-Missouri on the off weekends. I can tell you right now, there'll be a bunch of guys from St. Louis driving to Tanglewood. They've been yelling at me to put that on the schedule for like 2 months now. And I'm like, guys, I can't put on the schedule. I can't tell you why yet, but I can't put it on the schedule. You know what I mean? So it's, but it's going to be good because those off weekends you can go try a different course you've never played in a different area, and everybody's really bringing it as far as scheduling, and so it's going to be really fun to watch. I see Cliff from Kansas City is already talking about coming into play in mid-Missouri, so it's going to be good. But yeah, definitely excited to welcome you guys. I know we'll get together and start working on schedules, making sure we're complimenting each other and getting that done, and make sure we can support you in any way we can. So welcome to the team.
Glad to be here. I'm seeing some great courses mentioned over in the comment section. Those are certainly ones that we are looking at hosting as well. So
definitely. Jody, all you, buddy.
Oh, I'm just I'm excited about getting in that area. That's kind of like if Missouri had its own flyover area. Everybody thinks Missouri is Kansas City and St. Louis, and there's nothing in between, and nothing could be further from the truth. There's such a great area in Columbia with the university there, and Springfield right down the road. I mean, it's a nice little spot. We already know from working with Paul that he's got a sleeper of a schedule up in that northeastern Missouri, Iowa area, and so there's all these great parts of the country that don't get the coverage that some of the other big names get in golf, and so for us it's super exciting to see these underserved areas get an opportunity to participate in a much larger network like this. And, and for
for me, I'm hoping that a lot of our members take advantage of the opportunity to get into Central Missouri and play some places that they ordinarily would never see. And I know the Central Missouri guys are excited about now having an opportunity being part of this network anywhere they go for play or work or wherever they're traveling, that maybe they can jump in and catch an APT tournament while they're doing it. So that's the part that makes this really exciting for everybody.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
most definitely. It's going to be good. It's been fun getting to play some golf with you guys, and hopefully you guys will still come up to St. Louis and hang out every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely cooler than Jake. Just want everybody to know that on the call. So, I'm just kidding, Jake. I know he's watching. He'll be giving me crap for a long time, but appreciate you guys coming on and look forward to getting you guys, onboarded with our team and get things going and be ready to hit it hard this spring. So appreciate you guys coming on. And we still got a lot more coming up tonight. We've got some rules changes we're going to talk about next and a brand new national sponsor. But first, let's take a quick message from our friends at Blue Tees. I'm telling you, man, Blue Tees is so good. I love it.
I wanted to do like the PGA Tour has the what's in the bag, and everybody marks off on the first tee what they're using. I wanted to do that at Nationals and see how many people we had there at Nationals playing Blue Tees. And I was checking out the bags as much as I could, see what everybody was using. And it looked like we've got some pretty good market immersion there with the Blue Tees among the APT players. So I'm excited about that. That's been good.
No, definitely. It was kind of interesting to watch as we're watching all those first tee shots and checking the bag. I was doing the same thing. And certainly a lot of guys loving that product. We've got a great relationship with them. And, and they're just like us. They're just, a few guys that wanted to start a business, and they're just, some of them are moonlighting as they get it going, and they've been killing it. And they're just a great company to deal with and work with. And we couldn't be more excited to be partnering with them. And, but speaking of market immersion, as soon as I pick up my hands over the camera so y'all can see what I'm holding, I think there's going to be a lot. And I literally turned this on when the Blue Tees commercial started. My hands are sweating already. So meet our new national partner here, Gtech. This is actually Jack Curry's from 2 Under, but we've got APT logo ones coming. It's a Gtech hand warmer. It's used in the Ryder Cup. Team USA, Team Europe both had it. Just featured some of the Atlanta Braves players were wearing them. They're official for all MLB, NFL quarterbacks, all that good stuff. So hand warmer. It's hard to tell if you don't stick your hand inside. There's like a bar that you hold.
Yeah, it works. If anybody's got a heated steering wheel in their car, it works very similar. You put your hands in there and hold on to that bar in there. It feels like you're holding on to your steering wheel. Man, just keeps your hands warm. No gloves, no hand warmers, no shaking up the bag and trying to keep it warm for the, it usually wears off in the first 3 holes you play in the wintertime. So, man, that thing's going to be incredible. 3 heat settings, Matt?
So this is the high heat, the red, and then the orange. So the red lasts about 4 hours. The orange lasts, I think, 8 maybe. And then the green's up to 10 hours. It's a rechargeable battery. The battery lasts like 6 years. You wear it around your waist. It's just really good.
And
really
Cliff,
good. So.
Cliff, I've already asked because my mind went exactly where yours went. They do have Realtree camo available on their website. So, yes, you can get one for sitting in the deer stand as well.
Right. So anybody that comments that they want one tonight, we'll do the first batch. Normally they sell for $140. We'll do an APT logo one for, what do you think, Jody? $100 tonight?
Sure.
First people.
Yeah, $100
So
would be good.
so if you comment in tonight on the thread, we'll have Allie or Chris reach out to you to get the rest of the details. But you just let us you guys know. So, but they
The best
are
thing
really,
about
really
them,
good.
the best thing about them from a golf standpoint, just like you saw DJ and all the guys in the Ryder Cup, but also you see Aaron Rodgers and the quarterbacks wearing these things in the NFL. It's got a little strap. You can pull it around front when you're not swinging, but when you get ready to step into your shot, just swing the thing around the back. It's out of your way. You don't have to put it in and out of the cart or in and out of your bag if you're walking or anything like that. You don't have to worry about losing it or leaving it somewhere because it's attached to you. So, and I saw some ladies commenting too. I know Amanda Barrett would have loved to have had this at Sand Hollow as she was sitting at the starters tent. Definitely a Christmas present here that you can order. I've already been told that I'm ordering one for my wife, at least one. As a runner,
Nice.
she runs all winter long, so she'll be using that during the winter months to keep her hands from having to wear the big heavy gloves while she's running. So she hates doing that. So yeah, man, it's a great product. Really, really have enjoyed getting to know Jesse and their story and
Right.
how they came about. And, always enjoy getting to make new relationships with up and coming companies that have the same mindset that we do.
Definitely. The our people thing is certainly it certainly applies, and we've been running with that strategy and bringing on tour partners. Joe Arnold, yes, you can use your APT card. We'll run everything through our Shopify store, and so we'll reach out to you with an invoice on that. So just let us know if you want one. We've got them on order already. But yeah, as far as sponsors go, it's just, Jesse and the team at Gtech will fit right in. They're hungry. They care about the customer experience. They want to make a killer product. They fit into all of that. It's been fun this week. I know, Jody, you've been busy. You've had some of your partners out of town and doing other stuff. So, I've been taking some of our meetings, but got to sit down with Turtleson. So we've put out a plan for next year with them. They're not only excited about renewing, they're going to continue to step up. 2Under's excited again about getting back in. Motive CBD, Avis and Budget, Blue Tees. Everybody's in. Everybody's enjoying what's going on, and the result of that is going to be more great deals. Yet another thing, if you take advantage of, that just adds just more value to the membership. And we've got another big domino to announce next week. So it's going to be really good. So
what you're saying is the APT sponsor game or partner game is lit right now.
It is lit 100%. So we don't just slap a bunch of logos on our website. You know what I mean? Because we buy product from people. They're legit partnerships. They're strategic. We're working on promoting each other's brands, and it's been really fun to be involved. But really excited about kind of the future and where that holds with Gtech. I mean, Jesse and his team are great people. Another Canadian company, actually, which I think is interesting.
Take off, eh?
Yeah. So my roommate in college was from Canada, so I can speak very fluent but now based in Dallas and doing really good things. They've got licensing agreements for all of Major League Baseball, all of the NFL, and then the Ryder Cup team. And it was really interesting because there's this one picture where the European guys are like sticking their hands in the Americans' Gtech hand warmers in those early morning matches. So
yeah, it's Paul Casey and DJ, and DJ's like, yeah, man, come here, check this thing out. And you can see Paul Casey like, I don't know if he's like, no, seriously, stick your hand in here. So he does it, and you can just see Casey go, whoa.
It's really good. I
Yeah.
mean, I can tell you it is really good. So certainly if you play fall golf or go sit down football games and where it's cold, and you definitely want to get that in. So we're seeing some orders come in. We'll confirm it with you before, you're not committed, but if you put your name out, we'll reach out to you to get in the deal there. And Mike Pitchoff, St. Louis guy, is asking a good question. That'd be a good segue to talk about some things. I'm actually going to pull up here and take a look for you, Mr. Pitchoff, but lots of good events coming up starting this weekend. I know Phoenix is playing Torion in Sholo. That's this weekend. And then next week,
Shout
there's
out
quite a
Jay
few events.
Vega.
So
Yeah.
showing some
Shout out
love
to
up there
Jay
in
Vega.
Sholo. So let's see what kind of events we got coming up here. I know
Hey,
there's quite a
while
few.
you're looking that up, I'll say this about Torion. That place is legit. Really, really good golf course.
So yeah, next week we've got 5 events. So lots of good events coming up. Next weekend I'm going to be out in Las Vegas hanging out with our boy Hendra and Craig. They're doing a 2-man team net championship out there, a little like member guest kind of action to get things started in Vegas. So looking forward to that. He's got 40 players already signed up, so it's gonna be a fun week. Lee Barton's kicking off Myrtle Beach National. It's a fun little golf course. Texas has got a 4-ball in Dallas.
Charlotte, North Carolina's got something coming up.
Looks like Casey's running a Stableford at Audubon Country Club. There's an event in Ohio at Marietta Country Club. Charleston has got Rivertown. Rivertown Country Club.
Charleston,
South Carolina.
We have a chapter in Charleston.
Yeah, welcome to the APT, buddy. Where have you been? So it's gonna be a good time. Next weekend, East Tennessee's got an event at Rarity Bay. Miami, South Florida, got a country club of Coral Springs. He just got that up today. The Turkey Shootout at Legacy Golf Resort. I'm not even sure where that is. So all kinds of good stuff. West Virginia Open Golf Club of West Virginia. So we got stuff going on all over the place. So, yeah, it's lots of stuff going on between now and the end of the year. So it's going to be fun. Definitely some chance to get some things going. So.
Yeah, we're gonna have winter golf, guys. So make sure you get your Gtech hand warmer so that you're prepared for tournament play. You can't be hitting those cold shanks with sending the shivers down your spine. You gotta make sure your hands are warm. There you go. Phil chimed in Monday the 15th at Ballantine. I knew he had one coming up. Ballantine Country Club, great spot there in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned South Florida, so Joe Arnold doesn't have to ask us again when that event's going to get posted.
Hey man, lots of things to do to get things connected. Got everything up with our partners at Stripe, which was fun today. I sent them an email and they literally responded, Jody, if take this with WePay, 15 seconds. I sent him an email. He emails me right back. So it should be, it's going to be fun getting South Florida going. But, man, what else we got to talk about tonight? We got a few more things, don't we?
I don't know. Chris sent us I just do whatever Chris tells me to do.
Well, that's a scary thought. So Chris just said we don't have anything to talk about before a break. And so with that being said, let's hear from our friends at Motive CBD. Another big hit at Pinehurst. So
11 years in the NFL takes its wear and tear on your body. In the mornings, I take the joint and muscle capsule, and then mid-morning I do orange oil, and then mid-afternoon a little bit more of the orange oil, and then when I go to bed at night I take another of the joint and muscle capsule. I found it just keeps me running smooth.
good stuff. I'm telling you, the Motive that Jack brought to Pinehurst flew off the shelves on Sunday night there. So a lot of guys using it, said it worked really, really well. So I know you've had some good luck with their sleep stuff. I've been taking their gummies for a while, and it's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of the sleep stuff. And I'm going to start, I've talked to Jack several times. I'm going to try the pet aids. I've got a dog that just can't stand lightning or thunder or any loud noises, anybody shooting guns or anything. Of course, I live out in the country, so that's a regular affair. So, but they make CBD for pets to help keep them calm and level them out and stuff. So I'm going to try that here in the next little bit over winter and see if that helps our boy chill out a little bit.
Yeah. So which one of your barnyard zoo that you got going on there?
Oh yeah, that'd be Buddy. That'd be Buddy for sure.
Aw.
Buddy's my high strung child.
The tire barker.
Yeah, the tire biter. So
Chris is scared to drive into your driveway because he's afraid he's going to run Buddy over.
I've tried to run Buddy over. No, just kidding. Anybody that's out there, that's just a joke.
Oh man, ASPCA is gonna put us on a list or something if we're not careful.
Right.
So Sarah McLaughlin starts singing on our next broadcast. Like I'm just like, he was joking, guys. I'm out. So can't deal with any Sarah McLaughlin on the APT live broadcast. That is for sure. Want to take a little bit of time. We want to talk a little shout out. Let's talk Tournament of Champions for a minute. Coming up January, opening event at Disney. Champions dinner off site that's included in the entry fee. I forget who called me about the Diamond Resorts. I think it was Russell Cook was calling me today. He got his 1-bedroom condo suite for like $70 a night when he was at the Diamond in our room block. So really good hotel deals at a really great resort. And looking at a really good place. Actually, the restaurant for the Champions Dinner, I'm not going to tell you where it is, but I will tell you it was Larry Bird's favorite restaurant when he came to Orlando. So if you trust in Larry Bird in restaurants, you'll probably like this place. So it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just laughing at the comments again. Caught me off guard there, Chris. Put me back on camera.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, so it'll be good, and definitely want to recommend. So more than just golf and the entry fee, we've got a huge prize pool, a great tee gift from Turtleson. Just picked out some really awesome tee gifts out of their spring catalog. I'm really excited about that. Like I said, big prize pool, 2 days of golf on the Disney World resort property, and a Champions dinner. I believe we're going to do it on Tuesday night, I think, in between. It's just going to be a great time. And so certainly, and that's all going to be included. The only thing you're going to have to pay for at the Champions dinner is your alcohol. So insurance reasons, sorry guys, got to buy your own booze. But other than that, we'll be good to go. Dress code for Champions dinner. I know Russell's going to be wearing his tux after winning the North American Championship. So family is invited. Felix, there'll be a little bit extra cost for the family, but certainly invited, and we'll get some information out for you. And that we're going to rent out a whole place in a restaurant. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a really good time for everybody to hang out and do that. One was when Jody get back. You left me hanging there for a minute, but as we kind of get through, we'll talk for a few minutes, Jody, about some rules changes coming up in 2022. Answer any questions that people have. We can kind of do a virtual, I think, a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about the player forum we had at Pinehurst a couple weeks ago and some of the things, and then we'll get into some of the rules changes.
Sure. We did do a player forum. It probably ended up being a little more than 2 hours, I think, by the time it was all said and done.
I was tired at the end of it, I'll say that.
Yeah, it was great, though. Had an opportunity to, start out with some things that you and I wanted to cover, but then just really open the floor up to answer any questions, listen to suggestions, and and listen to other players bouncing ideas off of those suggestions as well. So I thought it was great. It was good for those that were there. There were a lot of questions about senior tees and yardages and course setup, which was really good and insightful for everybody that was there. It gave you and I an opportunity to kind of talk about our vision and reasoning behind the rules that we have in place regarding seniors, but also, gave us an idea to see some of the frustration I think that some of the players have had in different areas about, maybe how things are not being consistent in certain areas or certain chapters. And so, it gives us an opportunity anytime we get that feedback to, tighten some things up and make sure that we address issues that maybe we didn't know about or have overlooked because we've been so busy focusing on bigger things. So, as we kind of get this big plane off the ground, got it off the ground and in the air over the course of the last year, now we can start really drilling down on some of the more detailed items and get some things corrected that, frankly, not everything that we tried to do last year worked. So some of it needs to be scrapped. Some of it needs to be adjusted or tweaked a little bit. But, we've had some really good conversations about handicap indexes and things like that recently that I think are going to be great. The senior T stuff continues to be an advantage for us as a tour that allows us to keep our numbers up and get more people in the field, which makes for bigger prize pools and payouts and all of that. So, we don't want to do anything that makes it discouraging for our seniors to continue to play with us in our big events. Nobody likes playing for, with three or four people in the field. Would much there be 10, 20, 15, 20 people in the division so that, the prize pools are bigger and there's more opportunity for everybody to do well. So, all of that is things that we are continuing to work on. And I know that you've got a list of things that we want to go over tonight and kind of let everybody know, what's coming down the pike for rules adjustments in 2022.
Yeah, definitely. I think, a lot of good things. And so just so you know, guys, I'm going to start with this. If you go to our website right after this, it's not on there yet. So we're feverishly updating our website. We're doing everything. And when we do, we'll send out an email to let everybody know all the exact changes. But wanted you guys to hear some of this first. One of the things we asked, we formed a handicap committee about halfway through the season. Phil Van Giersdalen, AJ Ayala from Atlanta, and Matt Fegley from Northern California really put in a lot of work where to just make sure that, our fields were as fair as possible. But, one of the other things that was probably less publicized of what they were doing is, we're identifying some things when it came to our handicap system that we weren't really happy about. And so they started running through data, running different scenarios, and with the idea of, we want our handicap system to be a little bit more stable and looking at just ways to make it better. We certainly like the idea of the handicap system being about potential as opposed to average scores. We're very adamant about that. It makes our fields fairer. And so, and I think our scores have shown that in this year, but we are going to make some handicap or some changes to our handicap system for 2022. We've had a lot of questions about, when does a gin come into play, things like that. Just a lot of really good questions. And so we've really tried to think out those answers. And so we figured we'd start and talk about some of those here. And so currently our handicap system calculates the best 5 of your last 11 scores. In 2022, that's going to change to calculate the best 7 of your last 14 scores. And we're going to distinguish how we look at handicaps in 2 very distinct ranges. One is going to be when your index is validated, and one is going to be when your index is not validated. So once you get to 8 scores, it's by the numbers. It won't change anything of that. Before there are 8 scores, you don't have an official APT index. We're going to look at a variety of data in that time period to make sure that we are evaluating a player's ability level. So we're going to look at if the player has a GIN, we're going to look at their GIN index. If they play on another competitive tour with a reliable closed index system like USAM Tour or Golf Week, we'll take that data into consideration all up until 8 scores. And so once a player is validated, it's the APT index from there on. But before that, we're going to use every bit of data we can to make sure that no one's gaming the system. And so if you come in and you sign up for Division 3, play 2 tournaments, and we find out that your GIN is 7, you're probably going to get moved, and we're going to move to protect the field until you get to those 8 scores with us. We can validate your index. After that, it's all APT index. The only time we're going to look at other data is in the situation of a battlefield promotion. And so that being said, somebody shoots a round that's out of flight. When we have to review that, we've put different scenarios in our rules when we look at that. When we decide to look at that, at those scores, we're trying to figure out and answer one question: is that truly somebody's best round, or is it their potential and they're just playing in the wrong division? And so we'll look at other tournament scores. So if you've had shot, say you shoot 74 in Division 3, which is something that's probably out of flight from in most situations, and you'd shot 374s on a different tour, 3 weeks ago, you're likely going to get disqualified in that scenario. Whereas if you haven't shown that potential before, we're going to let that score stand, because we want to celebrate good rounds, but we do want to protect the field from people that are playing in a higher division to be comfortable, or for all the other reasons that people do it. And so, of course, Jake is on here saying he's in the wrong division. Jody, poor Jake. The other big thing, and I'll explain this, and then you can jump in here, Jody, is we're going to do a change to the flight lock. And so the idea behind the flight lock, we still 100% believe it is a good one, and that we want our championship to be full of the best players from the year in that division. And so the last thing we want to have happen is everybody go to their local finals and get promoted and have to play in a different division for the North American Championship. We really want our championship, when everybody comes together in Nashville in 22, to be a collection of the best players in the division of that year. That being said, one of the things we got from our members and we agree with is flight lock occurred a little bit too early this year. A lot of it had to do with how registration worked for Pinehurst, things like that. So for 2022, the flight lock is going to change. And it's only going to happen going into your local finals. The flight lock is only for your local finals and then the North American Championship. So if you only get the flight lock for that one event, and then the flight lock, instead of being a stroke under, it's going to be a half a stroke under. So still, if you shoot something that's significantly out of flight, you're going to get bumped before the North American Championship. But, if you're sitting over a 4-footer to win, and you're determining whether or not, you're going to have to play the North American Division 2 or Division 1, you're going to be fine, because, the flights will be locked at that. You want to explain that a little bit more, Jody?
Sure. So two parts to that. One, the flight lock aspect of that. The whole thought process and reasoning behind that is to make sure that players who have had a good year, played really well, accumulated a lot of points, and go into the end of their local season in contention for their player of the year, feeling like they have one hand tied behind their backs, because if they go to a course for their finals that has a really good stroke and rating, or course rating and slope, and they end up playing well that weekend, or playing as well as they have to win, that they're going to end up getting punished by getting bumped before they go to nationals. And so that was something that in other tours has always been an issue. And so you have people throwing off, or not playing hard, or not even showing up for the last 2 or 3 events of the year. And we don't want that. We want to keep participation up throughout the remainder of the season, especially as we get into the fall and the championship season. And we want players to feel like they can play hard and go for their local championship and try their best to win that. The other part of that you talked about is the effect of GIN or other indices outside of the APT, and what priority we have or should have on that data that's out there. The one thing, sadly, the way the GIN system works, the one thing about it that makes it difficult for us to put too much emphasis on that is it's just not a reliable source of information, for a variety of reasons, not the least of which are that there's no verification involved. There's no scores being checked or signed or witnessed by anybody else. You can pretty much put in
Well,
whatever you want to
I
put
think
in.
I think too, I just want to jump in. Sorry, Jody.
Sure.
As we did the review, I mean, one of the things we did with our handicap committee for this year is we looked at every single player that had a GIN in the system. And it's amazing when you go in and review these indexes, how many don't even put in their tournament scores with us, right? And so when you go in and look at them and they're just incomplete, or you have somebody that's got a GIN and they've played 10 tournaments with us this year and there's only 2 scores posted to their GIN in 2020, in 2021, things like that. And so it just makes it hard to look at it. Plus the fact that you've got if it's funny when you look at our tournament indexes where we've got 20 plus scores with somebody that really gets an idea of how their ability is with tournament. You've got vanity on both sides of it. And then sometimes it's painfully obvious. There's one guy, I won't pick on anybody, that we reviewed that's a 5.2 index with us in Division 2, and we looked up his GIN, it was like 13.8. And I'm going, how does that happen? You know what I mean? Like I could see a GIN being lower, but being that much higher, it's not feasible. And so certainly looking at it in the when we don't have other data for sure. So when people start, but once we have reliable data within the system, really relying on that APT index, and we're really spending a lot of time too, Jody. And I know you've harped on this quite a bit of making sure we're training our chapter owners in course setups and making sure the slope and rating's accurate, and making sure we're setting up the golf course the way it's intended for the handicap system, which is really important.
No, absolutely. So again, that goes back to some of the stuff we were talking about with course setup and senior tees, some of the things that we had questions about at the player forum. And it's important for all of our chapter owners to make sure that they get their course setups done correctly, get it done ahead of time, and then have that data accurately put into our system so that, again, when you have a differential that gets posted to your APT index, that it's based on the correct set of tees and whatnot that you played from. So, as we talk about this live here to the players and have people reviewing this and watching it later, I hope it sparks conversation with their chapter owners and, that on the local level that everybody has conversations about course setup and what's really important and making sure that all this stuff gets done. On another note, you mentioned that we will take into account even scores from other tours and or other sources. Even that can be a little bit
Right.
sketchy in that, and we're not going to rely on that stuff too heavily because, again, I mean, not everybody is using the same formula that we use. Some tours out there are using an app or a handicap system where you can still put in scores that are from outside of tournaments.
Right.
And that goes to your index and determining what flight you play in. So, you can shoot a 75 in your tournament on Saturday and then go during the week and post 4 more scores in the 80s and keep your flight where you want it to be. And we're not going to look at stuff like that and because it's just not accurate. It's not accurate.
Right.
It's not reliable. So to the extent that we can, as this continues to go on and we get more and more rounds with everybody, obviously the more data we have, the more comfortable we are that it's accurate. So we're working on that. And the longer we're around, the easier it's going to be for us to police all this stuff.
No, certainly. I just think it's important that everybody knows. I mean, the biggest thing that's frustrating, we heard this in St. Louis and worked really hard to really stop this. And I think we did a pretty good job this year of doing it. Is you have the guy that, is a Division III player that wants to come in and start in Division 4, Division 2 player that wants to start in Division 3. And, they come in and they win 2 tournaments and they get promoted. And it just makes it it makes it tough. It's frustrating. And so what we're trying to do, especially early as people getting in, is pay attention to the data that we have to try our best to make sure that stuff's not happening and to protect that. Couple other things, by the way, Greg, I love Greg's comment. Greg's was one of my Division 4 guys, almost won Player of the Year, started in Division 5, never really played competitive golf. And, his handicap improved from, round 1 to round 15 significantly. And so he got bumped at a really crappy time of the year. I felt terrible about doing it, but, he embraced it and really almost won our Division 4, which was really cool to see. So super proud of him. He won our most improved. Couple other rules changes that are coming. We are going to let you to regress to a lower flight now if you're a half a shot above the division range. So you can't go back if it's 13.4 or 13.5 to be Division 4. You can't go back if you fall to 13.6. You can't go back. But if you get to 14.0, you can request to move back. If you do get bumped, there is going to be a limit on the number of points that you can bring in. We'll finalize that and get it out to you. And then also, just like the USGA does, by the way, as people are establishing handicap indexes, until you're validated, your index isn't necessarily going to continue to show on Blue Golf. It just shows a lot of bad data. When that happens, you get a guy that comes in the first round and is nervous and shoots 95, and that doesn't mean he's a 20 handicap. You know what I mean? And so as things get established, we'll continue to do that. Certainly we'll be transparent about it. You'll be able to email the Handicap Committee at any time. If there's something going on, we'll be happy to answer your questions, and looking forward to 22. And so just definitely excited to get with our members and our chapter owners and start to make some positive changes that are going to make the tour better for the players.
One other thing to point out, Matt, you just covered, the criteria for being able to request to move back a division. Just know, because we had this happen a couple of times this year, and this is going to be factored into our handicap review. Just know that if you do request to move down, so if you started the season in a higher division and you request to move back, anything you shoot out of pocket the rest of the season is going to subject you to scrutiny. So you'll have no grounds to object to us bumping you at some point down the road or disqualifying you from a tournament if you've moved down earlier in the year and you're playing out of division. So just keep that in mind.
Correct. I think that's another really good point. Well, we got a few minutes left if we want to answer some questions. Phil, if I missed anything that I was supposed to cover tonight on this, feel free to pop it in the chat. We'll talk about it. But if anybody got any questions, rules, handicaps, anything they want us to answer, we'll go and bring Jamal back on since Jamal's just been hanging out in the background. I feel bad. We can talk about Central Missouri as well. Cliff Austin wants to know if any changes to the Player of the Year point system. Not that we're ready to announce yet. We're certainly looking, and there's going to be some tweaks to that. So Judd, good question from Judd. He said, if we have at least 8 rounds, is our APT index published somewhere? Yes, the easiest way to get to it. That's one of the things we were talking to Blue Golf about. Phil and I actually had a conversation about it today, about being able to publish a handicap report so everybody can see. The easiest way is if you go into the standings and find your name in the standings, and then there's a tournament index button that you can pull up and it'll show your tournament index. The easiest way to find it currently is on the website side and not the app side. So
well, we're working on that.
As far as a handicap update, that's a good thing, Phil. When players can expect the handicap update, we're making some changes in the system this week. I would expect the handicap update when things run through the tournaments this weekend. We'll make the update to the new system next week. So we'll start to move. I know we've gotten a couple questions. A couple people have signed up and have indexes that have them in the wrong division. Technically, when you re-sign for membership, you can select whatever division you want to. That doesn't mean we're going to allow you to play there. Actually, we're definitely not going to allow you to play in the wrong division. So we just have to go in and make those moves. And so we have to run a handicap report and not. And Sammy, appreciate the comment. The ruling, if you win 3 times in 1 year, you should move up automatically. Certainly have taken some of that into consideration. We've looked at it. The hard part is a value of a win is very different. And, in Charlotte or St. Louis, where we've got 220, 225 members, you're playing against 25, 30 people every week. And some of our smaller chapters, you're playing against 4 or 5. It's tough to hit that. It's certainly something that we look at as, certainly if somebody's not validated, to make sure that's the case. It's tough because the value of it's different based on who you're playing against.
Right. So if you put a rule in place like that, Sammy, where 3 wins is an automatic bump, and you're playing in a chapter that's just starting out, let's say Central Missouri, and they only have 3 champ flight players that play all year long. So it's going to be a lot easier for somebody there to get 3 wins than it would be, like Matt said, somewhere where they're playing in a bigger field week after week. So we don't want to punish people who are playing in smaller chapters because that's only going to discourage them from playing locally. And we don't want to do that because, we want the local chapters to be supported and continue to grow. And the only way they're going to do that is to have their local people playing week in and week out. So nice idea. I've actually brought it up on a couple of people that I knew that were kind of floating on the division line and racking up some wins this year. But I don't think ultimately it's something that we can impose across the board nationally.
Right. So sorry, I was trying to look up, Phil's looking up in the chat. Chris, I'll follow up with you, figure out what's going on. That should not be happening in the system. So we have any other questions coming in? I actually have the one question for pitch off. This one's for Jamal. Says, is Central Missouri a new chapter? I signed in late. So all you, buddy.
Yes, actually, we are a new chapter. We're effective starting today. We're super excited for this opportunity. I think it's going to be a nice partnership from the standpoint of bringing the entire state together, and then filling a gap for a lot of the golfers in Central Missouri to get an opportunity to experience the great APT Tour. I got to tell you, the first time I played, I came over to St. Louis, and I remember walking up there, and the whole reason why I even started is that I needed to get my tournament reps up, which is, if you remember at the very beginning, the video talks about that, getting your tournament reps up. And I was like, wait a minute, this is more than just getting my tournament reps up. This is the kind of tournament I want to play in. And so I want others to experience that just like you guys have. And so we're expanding to meet the needs of those in Central Missouri. And guys, I'm just going to tell you, I get to play golf. I'm fortunate enough to play golf in a lot of different areas. And there are some true hidden gems in Central Missouri. And I would encourage you to, when you have the opportunity, to come out and play, because you'll see some fantastic golf courses.
Oh, I can't wait. Cannot wait. Matt, I want to touch on Don Hamlet's comment, question about how about minimum events to go to nationals? Sure. Don, that's certainly something that we've discussed. And again, as we continue to grow, will be something that we factor in. Look, nationals, I think after this year, Matt and I anticipate nationals being a tough ticket to get going forward. This is probably going to be the only year that it's not a waiting list super deep. So I don't think that's going to be an issue going forward. However, what I'll say about that, because I did hear this from more than one person, that we had a couple of people that played in our national championship that had not played in maybe but 1 or 2 events all season long. And look, part of that is Matt and I know these players really well. Some of them came from Tampa chapter, which had a rough go of it early on, ended up losing their chapter owner. So they were not going to be punished for that. That wasn't their fault. Some of them were out in East, similar situation in Carolina East. So again, same situation. it wasn't their fault that they didn't have many events to play in. One of them was our new chapter owner from Las Vegas, and we were damn proud to have him come join and play with us. So that guy was going to be playing regardless. So, there's always a reason why these things happen. We're not just letting, opening the doors and letting anybody and their brother come in. I hope that our members at least trust and respect us and know that we've got your back, and we're going to make sure that anybody that comes in has been vetted properly, and we know exactly who they are and what's going on.
Right. Hey, just real quick, if Christopher is still watching, if you could shoot me an email, matt@aptgolf.org, so I can get you squared away on your issue. But other than that, man, Jamal, I'm so excited to have you in Central Missouri. I can't wait to come down and support you guys, and looking forward to doing some Saturday, Sunday event combos and hitting the road and coming down and playing and being down there. It's going to be good. Jody, it's always fun. I feel like we're getting like almost a week off from each other right now, which is kind of scary. Hasn't been like that for a while, but look forward to seeing you next week.
We've both been so busy too since we got back from nationals. It's like I don't get a call or a text until like mid-morning. It's almost like I'm missing my wake-up call every day.
Oh man, I gotta say, getting this 2022 schedule out, everybody's wanting to go so hard. It has been busier than Pinehurst was, and so I know Cal right there. When will 22 schedules? We're trying, buddy. Goodness gracious. No, I love Cal. Cal actually drove in. He didn't play the event, but he came in from the Triad just to say hi one day, and really appreciated him stopping by. That was one of my favorite moments of the week. So we're getting him out there quick. I know the Triad boys are working really hard. Cal, Phil's working really hard, and we'll get those up to you. But until next week we've got another sponsor to talk about. Maybe another chapter owner. You never know. So we'll see how that goes.
I got a feeling about this.
I got a feeling about it too. So we'll see though. But anyways, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thanks for the support of the APT, and we're looking forward to making 22 even better than 21. Jamal, welcome to the team, and
thank you.
Let Otis know we'll keep an eye on him as well. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.
Now on the tee from St. Louis, from Las Vegas, from Charlotte, North Carolina.